How to start a video podcast. Wow, you just hit the nail on the head. I love this idea on so many levels. This sets you up for so many things, but the first things comes first, you gotta start recording it, right? So let's go over the ins and outs and we'll get you started right now. You need to watch this video all the way to the end because we got two things going on here. Number one, if you're already podcasting, I'm gonna show you how to jump into the video side of it and get your video podcast up and running. And number two, if you're starting from scratch, perfect. Let's get you started with the right foundation, and that way you don't have to double back on a couple mistakes that you may have made up to this point. Ouch. But you're going to avoid them. So let's get started. Now, like I said, if you're already podcasting, you really have a lot already under your belt. Hopefully you've already figured out your audience, what they're concerned about, what they're talking about, how to reach them, what your subject matter is going to be. You really have your avatar already dialed in, not to mention all your topics and your subjects and all that kind of stuff. Wonderful. The shift is now going from audio to video. And making that shift, there's a little bit of an adjustment. There's a slight learning curve, but there's a lot of it you're already used to. The biggest thing is if you've been recording audio, you can just look at your notes. You really don't have to make eye contact. You can just do whatever you need to do. You got the microphone right in front of you. You can pretty much, nobody will know what's really going on because you're sitting here doing your episode. But now that you're on video, oh yeah, there you are. You really do need to engage with your audience, and that would be by making quote unquote eye contact with your camera. So if you're used to burying your face in your notes, you really do need to check your notes, come up here and be sure to engage with your audience. Think of it as more of a discussion, more of a dialogue, or maybe if you've got three people, let's say it's you, a co-host, there is the listener also involved. And I think this is a perfect metaphor for it. I don't think you can see the table, but I'm a very small table right here. And think of it as like a breakfast nook kind of table that you're having a conversation with over a cup of coffee with someone. You've asked the question, you already kicked off the conversation, how to start a video podcast. Now I'm just sitting here giving you my answer and you and I are quote unquote talking. You started it, now it's my turn. So think of it that way, and making eye contact with the camera comes off a little bit easier. So now that you've been recording as video, the next step would be uploading it to YouTube, because that's the best place for something like this for two reasons. Number one, the search engine capabilities. Remember, YouTube is owned by Google, the #1 search engine in the world. Now owns the video company, the video hosting in the world. Boom, what more could you ask for? Second of all, YouTube sees the power of podcasting. I mean, it's been a very popular medium for a very long time. When everybody shut down for COVID, that really put a spotlight on it. So many people started a podcast during COVID. Now, there are very few of those that got started during COVID that are still running now that people have gone back to work and back to their daily routines, pre-COVID routines, maybe not exactly, but really close to a pre-COVID routine. The vast majority of those podcasts have fallen by the wayside. But it just showed that, if all these people are listening to podcasts, okay, great, fine, it's a fad, right? No, half these people all of a sudden started producing podcasts. And that spike over that period of time at the beginning of COVID, that made everybody sit up and take notice, including YouTube. So now that you're putting your podcast, making it a video version and uploading it to YouTube, believe me, YouTube wants a piece of that podcast pie, and they're going after it. So it's a very, very good place to host your video podcast. Now, all this stuff we cover throughout the channel, anything from cameras and lighting and podcasting and blogging and YouTube channels. So if this is where you're going with your business, if this is something that you want to set up for your business to bring you that steady flow of clients and customers, please be sure to subscribe to this channel because we're going to cover all of that stuff in time. In fact, you probably got hours worth of stuff you could already watch and catch up on. But that's where we go with this, to make sure that you're up and running to start bringing you in more clients and customers. Now, if this is something that you're doing your video podcast or your podcast video that you are starting from scratch. You're not podcasting right now. You're doing everything from the very beginning. First steps are to get your audience and your show down pat on paper. Be sure you know what they're looking for, your listeners are going to be looking for, what are you going to be talking about, what topics are you going to cover that they are interested in. So be sure to be meeting them where they are. And this is all about your business, but we're not making it a 15, 30, 45, 60-minute advertisement for your company. If you use it to teach, if you use it to give a behind-the-scenes look or show them methodologies or processes or something like that, that they may or may not use themselves. But for example, if you're a financial planner, when it comes to like picking stock or something like that, maybe you've got a particular method of picking stock. You can show them that and they'll probably feel much more comfortable about it now that they know what you're doing instead of this, ooh, hocus pocus magic behind the curtain kind of thing. And being able to demonstrate that and show that to them, they'll be, oh, okay, now I know what's going on. And you're educating them not just to the financial planning world, but you're showing them a little slice of what you're doing. So when you say, hey, you remember that one video you watched? That's what I'm doing. And they go, oh, okay. The know, like, and trust factor just goes through the roof because you've clearly demonstrated it. And there's no secrets. You're not trying to pull any wool over their eyes, and you're not trying to sell them on anything. They already know. There's nothing to be sold about, and they're already on board. That is the easiest type of client and customer to work with, right? So getting started from scratch, you're going to have to invest in some things like cameras, lights, microphones, video editing software. All that stuff is going to come into play here. You can get started very easily with just your smartphone camera, your smartphone sitting in front of a window to have some light, or maybe even a three-way lamp off to the side cranked up to full. It could be as easy as that. The phone is going to take care of the audio. You're good to go. Doing a little video editing, you could do it right there on the phone. You could upload it to your computer. Computer probably already has video editing software loaded. You probably didn't even know it was there. It is. Windows comes with it. Apple comes with it. They all come with video editing software preloaded. And then there are a whole bunch of them out there that you can get either on your phone, add an app to your phone, hundreds if not thousands of them. And then there are some very good programs that you can add to your computer. Whatever feels comfortable for you. If there's a process or a procedure that just feels more natural for you, I strongly suggest you use that one. And then in your final step, once you've got everything edited down, not only are you going to edit your video, clearly, that's what the whole point was, right? You've got your video, you upload it to YouTube. That's free. Hosting your videos on YouTube is free. The flip side of that is you just render, or in the audio world we call it mixing, in the video world it's called rendering. You just mix down or render the audio tracks. You've got your background music, your intro and your outro, your episode content, the voiceover and everything that's being spoken. You mix that down, and that is your podcast episode. With that podcast episode, you upload it to your podcast host. Now, podcast hosting is different than video hosting on YouTube. Podcast hosting is going to cost you. You're going to need some type of a subscription, a monthly subscription, and that can range anywhere between $10 and $50, depending on who you're going with and what they're charging. The reason why one is 10 and one is 50 is because they have a whole bunch of other bells and whistles and features, and maybe they even have recording and editing software built in. If it's already built in and you want to go that route, feel free, go for it. And then some of them have web hosting to go with it, where you can build your own website for your podcast. Not your website for your business, but your podcast website. I would actually put that on my home website just as a backup version to make sure that, heaven forbid, something should happen to the podcasting host, or this is the 21st century, somebody's going to be offended. Your channel might get shut down, but you've got everything at your website. So you'll still have that backup going for you. Now, to get you started on this brand new journey, I have a free guide for you. The guide is free. The free guide covers free video editing software. There's a whole bunch of video editing software for the computer, not your phone, but for the computer that you can download, whether it's Windows or Mac or Linux, whatever operating system you prefer, there's a video editing software out there for you. Download the free guide, experiment with all those that are on there, whichever one fits you best. I strongly suggest that's the one you use. Get your copy of the guide by clicking on the link in the description down below. I'm Nick Natarella with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.